After Prime Minister Narendra Modi attended the Bastille Day parade in Paris as guest of honor last year, French President Emmanuel Macron has now arrived in the pink city of Jaipur and shall be gracing the Republic Day parade celebrations at Kartavya Path. This visit is crucial as it celebrates 25 years of India-France defence cooperation. Both countries already enjoy a special partnership in this sector as France and is India's second largest arms supplier. Now, India and France have in the past inked deals for Scorpene-class submarines, Rafale jets and the joint development of a future medium combat aircraft. Last year itself, during the Prime Minister's visit to France, India's Hindustan Aeronautics Limited and France's Safran group had signed a memorandum of understanding to develop a jet engine. Additionally, both countries have also signed an MOU to fabricate submarines and surface combatants in India. Furthermore, India and France have also adopted Horizon 2047 roadmap to set course for future collaborations. India has rolled out the red carpet for President Macron. All eyes now are on our further partnership that we strike in the defence sector. Joining us to discuss this further is Wing Commander Praful Bakshi, former Chief Spokesperson, Indian Air Force. Also with us is Major General G.T. Dwivedi, Strategic Affairs Analyst. Also with us is Major General Dhruv Katoch, Defence Expert. Major General Sudhakarji, Geopolitical Analyst, also is joining the broadcast. Major General Dwivedi, let me begin with you first on how important this visit by French President Emmanuel Macron is going to be to further boost defence ties between India and France.
Well, Uday, definitely this visit is important because if you consider both the timing and also the global environment, and more importantly, you can gauge the depth and the strength of our relationship that President Macron accepted this visit to be the chief guest on the 75th Republic Day at a very short notice. That shows that both countries have deep and good understanding. Now, coming specifically as to what are the major issues that are going to be, yes, defense is going to be a major, one of the major issues because the defense cooperation between India and France has graduated not from just buyer-seller but also jointly developing, designing, and in joint collaboration, which is actually one of the key, issue of the current government, that is Atmanirbharta, self-reliance. So therefore, I think a couple of issues that of defense will be discussed will be one of the in principle acceptance of Rafale marine version. The 26 of them are on the table, and this deal need to be formalized because it is just in principle that India has accepted. And in fact, we went in for the fall M and in fact rejecting the American similar aircraft. Second is the Scorpion deal because we have a very good record and successful one in manufacturing the 6 Scorpion submarines, that is P-75. And now another 6 ones are on the cards and the negotiation will go on, and these P-75I are going to be the larger version and more technologically advanced, both in terms of how they are silent, diesel-electric submarines, and also in the propulsion system. And not to forget that we are also looking at the joint manufacturing of the engines for the jets, that is AMCA, and also for Tejas Mark II, while India has negotiated to manufacture F414G engine with the US, but this is also currently ongoing process or negotiation will there. And of course, nuclear reactors also, the modular small nuclear reactor will be on the card. So all suffice I can say is that defense will be one of the major issues, and some of the deals that I brought out will be on the anvil. And along with that, the strategic partnership, we are in the 25th year, and India and France have very strong strategic partnership and trusted partner in France because they have been always backing us on the various global issues. And therefore, I think this relationship will get further strengthened with this visit, and beyond defense and strategic issues like trade and allied issues also will be on the anvil, in keeping with the 3-pillar strategy which has evolved during this Prime Minister Modi's visit in July last year, along with the French President Macron. Uday.
All right. Let me, in fact, quickly take that across to Major General Katoch as well. Major General Katoch, where do defense ties currently stand between India and France, and which way do you believe they are headed?
Thank you, Uday. Uday, when we are looking at the India-France relationship, we've been for a very long time, we have been strategic partners in the Indo-Pacific. And we've completed, right from 1947, we've had diplomatic relations. Last year, when the Prime Minister went there, we adopted the Horizon 2047 roadmap. Now, this completes 100 years of India's independence and 100 years of diplomatic relationships, as also 50 years of the strategic partnership when we're looking at 2047. So the vision when we are looking at India-France relationship now has transcended what is taking place at this moment. And we are looking at the 2047 horizon now. This is also what the Prime Minister keeps talking about, the Atmanirbhar programs and all that. So we have got a very, very strong relationship, and the way our interests are intertwined, the security interests, the strategic interests, they're very, very closely interlined between India and France. So the only way they will be moving forward is northwards. They're already very strong, and they will continue to grow stronger. We are looking at partnerships in security, cooperation in the Indian Ocean region and in the Indo-Pacific, putting space at the heart of the strategic partnership, the fight against terrorism. Now, this is going to assume greater and greater importance as the time goes by, promoting multilateralism. The unipolar world concept is not something which France and India look forward to. And then, of course, as mentioned earlier by the earlier speaker, General Dwivedi, cooperation in the scientific field, advanced technologies, health sector, cyberspace, digital space, and then we are talking of nuclear cooperation. So the multifaceted nature of this partnership is indeed tremendous. And the difference now is it isn't simply a one-way street that France is giving and India is taking. India has got very advanced technologies also, so it's going to be mutual cooperation. I really hope that one of the things which come out of this cooperation is that we can finally get a proper engine for our fighter aircrafts and for the ships. This appears to be one of the major weaknesses. While we have indigenized the shipbuilding fleet to a very, very large extent, I think this remains a gray area. And also for the AMCA, the advanced multi-role aircraft, which is under development. So if we can get the engine right, I think we'll get everything else right. And I hope that this partnership between India and France lead towards that goal. Uday.
Yes, let me take that across to Wing Commander Bakshi as well. Wing Commander Bakshi, we are, of course, tracking these developments very, very closely on how India has really given the red carpet welcome to Emmanuel Macron. From a high-profile welcome that he got when he landed in Jaipur. He's being treated to various sights and sounds of Jaipur currently, the culture, the heritage, the tourism. Also, Prime Minister will also be meeting him shortly in Jaipur itself before, of course, the two are together tomorrow morning for the Republic Day parade, and then the dialogues which will follow really shows the special place that France has for India right now in the defense sector, but also in other sectors too, isn't it? Wing Commander Bakshi.
Yes, Uday, absolutely right. As my co-panelists have been bringing it out, India, as the relationship with France goes back actually, I'll not talk of history, but what I'm trying to talk after 47. There was a major tussle between India and France and England, the United Kingdom at that time, when they wanted to supply us the major fighter aircraft. After we had got the Vampires in 1948, it is the French which won the deal. They gave us the Dassault Tufani, followed by the Dassault Mystère, followed by the Dassault Mirage, now coming to Dassault Rafale. And besides that, there were a lot of other equipment in the army, including French equipment for the army, radars, the main radar of Indian Air Force Air Defense, the THD radar, that also, the naval ships, the naval submarines, as well as the main Matra missile, which was married on to the Russian aircraft, all with the help of France. France has silently worked with us. It did not make any big deal about it. And every deal with France was very clear, though very difficult. But question is that France has stood by us, and France has another big problem coming up. That is its confrontation with America, especially in the NATO one, and then in the South China Sea, where our Australian deal, AUKUS deal, when how it has taken birth is because of America. And that is why French cut the American deal of F-18 and sold us the Rafale, and then now it is going further ahead. Whatever the case may be, besides that cyber technology, the space technology, everything French is ready to give. And the most of all, where we have failed to get the engine, the Kaveri engine did not work out. GE404, we are trying to work out 414 with America, but there are a lot of, pitfalls. America let us down in 1998 when we went nuclear. They cut off the LCA help which they were giving us, and we were left high and dry on that aspect. Forget the cryogenic engine, everything, all those things which happened. French stood by us, and French now are standing by us. Again, in the last 7 years, the military contingent, marching contingent is coming second time. And this aspect you must understand. And yes, with the cyber technology which will be coming up, which is a very, very major one, and the space technology, and the communication in space, that is where we are being very, France is being very helpful to us. And I'm not going to talk of Scorpene, the advanced Scorpene, and the AIP which has been put on it.
Quickly address these visuals as well coming in right now of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Emmanuel Macron meeting as well. Let's quickly go full frame to these visuals coming in from Jaipur. They show the bonhomie between the two leaders, of course. The fact that, as I was telling you a short while back, Prime Minister Modi was going to go to Jaipur himself to meet with Emmanuel Macron. Of course, Emmanuel Macron is on that sightseeing tour currently. The two are now together at Jantar Mantar. PM, remember, was in Bulandshahr earlier, sounding the poll bugle for the 2024 elections, but now has taken time out to go and receive his friend, to go and receive the chief guest of this year's Republic Day, Emmanuel Macron, in Jaipur, the first city where the French president has landed after touching down in India. A bit of sightseeing right now, culture, tourism, soft power on full display by India for Emmanuel Macron. But the body language, of course, there for all to see. One, the fact that Prime Minister has gone personally to meet Emmanuel Macron in Jaipur itself. The red carpet welcome that he got earlier, the hug you can see, the smiles that you can also see on your screens are really, I think, tell it all. Don't they, Wing Commander Bakshi? Please complete your point as well.
With the present deal which is coming up, especially the AIP, etc., which is going to put on the advanced Scorpene, that technology will come. But the best thing is that when the engine, 414 did not, the deal is not coming through very clearly, France has offered us that they will not only give us the engine, they will give us a joint R&D, joint manufacture, and we can also be, open advanced version of that. It will not be licensed production. It will be clear joint venture, which French will take advantage also of it. So they are very clear about it. These are the things which we want, because the engine is the key result area of any machine, whether it is ship or aircraft or tank. So that is what we are going to build from now on with the French help. We must understand that. And Matra missile and all other missiles which are, and France has got an advanced missile system on the Rafale, and all those things which will be manufactured in India if we are ready for that. France has assured us, if we are ready with you. So question is, how we take French now? French are, of course, difficult to deal. They are not, careless about their deals, but they're very clean about it. So that is what we should have. So if we are going to change our doctrine and thinking process, there will be no problem for us.
Major Sudhakarji, come in here on, on how important that visit by Prime Minister was last year, the Bastille Day parade occasion, in solidifying several crucial defense deals then. And similarly, of course, while primarily the reason for Macron coming is Republic Day, how important will the dialogues be tomorrow, and do you believe certain defense deals could be inked as well? apart from our cooperation on Scorpene submarines and Rafales?
Yeah. But I think most of the points have already been covered by the previous co-panelists more than in detail. However, I'll touch upon the perspective which are relevant from the evolving geopolitics of the global order. What is happening in the world around today? If we, carry out an environmental scan at the highest level, at the global level, there is a polarization taking place. There is a militarization which is on the upswing all over the world without any exception. A country like Japan has changed the constitution, has gone in for a significant rise to 2% of its GDP on the military expenditure. So is Germany, so is other countries in the Europe. And a third thing which is happening is that in the backdrop of pandemic COVID-19, the economic recession, whether we accept or not, has actually impacted adversely the livelihood and the living standards of the poor people, particularly global south. There is a price rise in the food and fertilizer. It is impacting the entire global order. And fourth and most important thing which is happening is that the supply chain disruption has actually mangled the economy, the global economy. Hence, the manufacturing hub, which we ourselves are to be blamed, we had outsourced 40 years back to China. We have started thinking and applying the concept of China plus one policy. Whether it is going to work out or not, the evidence are actually manifesting in countries like India, Singapore, Indonesia, etc., etc. India, I'm sure, very optimistic, it is destined to benefit from this particular moment. This is at the global level. In this perspective, how is that India can benefit? And which is the segment where India should be focusing on? In my opinion, at the global level, I think the Global Apex Organization, which was created post Second World War, has become defunct. India needs to capitalize its relationship, talk about trust or anything, any kind of acronym or semantic. We need to galvanize, take forward a relationship with France for whatever status, call it permanent seat in the UN Security Council or call it by any other name, some status at the global level where the Global Apex Organization will have teeth and in its executive power, which should be heard by everyone. And those P5 countries which have become irrelevant today should be done away with. There has to be an expansion of the Security Council. There has to be a reformation of World Health Organization, World Bank, IMF. France is one of the leading role because of one factor, Uday, if you allow me, the strategic autonomy which France enjoys right since its existence is a factor of commonality with India. India has meant its business in favor of national interest, even during the time of Jawaharlal Nehru, I can say with a lot of conviction and proof. One. Number two, when you come to the regional perspective, Uday, there are issues which need to be taken seriously, particularly the Indo-Pacific. We need to factor in and take cognizance of the territories in the French territories which are in existence, the affiliation of the population in Indo-Pacific. When I talk about Indo-Pacific, I am not only oriented towards South China Sea. It is a whole lot of that 4 billion plus population, including China, India, Australia, countries in the Southeast Asia, going on to the eastern rim of Africa, as also the Middle East. The whole lot of people where you have the entire, I would say, bulk of the movement of the cargo and the trade of the world is actually passing through the shipping lane. There is a transition of the geopolitics which was driving during the 1.0 Cold War, that is the 20th century, has migrated to geoeconomics. From geoeconomics, very, very intelligently and deftly, China is playing its card. We are gradually shifting to geosecurity. Now, what is the geosecurity? Geosecurity is a paradigm wherein China is actually unleashing its power in a very crafty manner, in a very, very, I would say, incremental manner, so that the poorer nations, which it had laid its hand because of the BRI factor and by debt trap diplomacy, it is seen the fault lines of its BRI through the means and measures of this security. It is trying to take these smaller countries under its wings. Therefore, we need to take the support of France towards self-reliance, enhancing our self-reliance with regard to our own defense forces. When I come to the defense forces, essentially I am talking about the Safran engine, which is required for the heavy lift helicopter, the Indian multi-role helicopter. Plus, we also are going in for the shipbuilding in collaboration with the leaders of European Union naval shipbuilding yards, along with our garden bridge industry. We all have to collaborate. France is the only country without any glitch or hitch has been giving an outstanding extended reach with regard to the technological transfer. With reference to Safran engine, here there is some glitch with technological transfer. We need to go into the detail, try and expedite the process, get the engine transfer of technology of the Safran engine. And there is also a very, very positive development which has taken place. The shareholder MOU agreement has been signed between the Safran Engine Limited and the HAL. This is one of its kind in the world as far as the negotiations and transfer of technology is concerned, which is actually in favor of the equipment and the transfer of technology taking off in a real earnest. Last but not the least, Uday, there are common factors of the existence in the universe and common challenges. Because of polarization factor, there is a big challenge which is emerging. The nations are more driven towards the national interest, not towards climate change, not towards the terrorism, not towards the poverty elevation, etc., etc. There is a need for a country like France, with whom India enjoys, right since its inception of its diplomatic relationship in 1947, getting upgraded in 1998 to strategic partnership. France is the only country which has stood by India ever since its independence, is standing by post-1998 nuclear device explosion or the trials that we successfully carried out when the whole world was actually mounting on us, imposing sanctions. It is this France which is post-COVID has been standing with India in times of challenge and otherwise, for self-reliance, for the space technology, for the education, for anything that you can think of, for underwater surface shipping, for connectivity, for infrastructure development, and essentially energy security. France has got the potential to collaborate. It is collaborating with India as of now and actually destined to gain from the green hydrogen that India has already developed. Second, biofuel alliances. Third, it is one of these partners, important partners as far as the International Solar Alliance is concerned. So put together, it's a huge, huge kind of a collaborative relationship that is actually picking up momentum. This is one of the humblest steps that is being added to the feather of the cap of both the nations. I'm sure in coming times and times ahead, both the countries are going to march ahead and show leadership role, retaining and maintaining strategic autonomy of respective national interests of both the countries. Back to you, Uday.
Yes. Specifically speaking, though, which deals do you believe could be perhaps, on this visit itself, Major General Dwivedi?
Specifically, I think one of the deals which would be could be inked, or at least the substantial progress will be made, will be the Rafale M version, because we require these aircraft for our aircraft carrier INS Vikrant, and I think that appears to be the top priority. Second is, of course, the submarine deal. This may take little time, but we had a great successful experience of P-75 project, under which 6 submarines were manufactured. But we require more submarines given the kind of situation that is in the Indo-Pacific. And I think P-75I version, which is an advanced technology, could be well on the cards. And thirdly, of course, are the engines for the helicopters and even for the future cooperation for the multi-role combat aircraft. But two important points which Uday I wish to flag. One is that relationship between India and France cannot be only seen from the bilateral lens. They have global implications, and Vision Document 2047 actually amply brings out the role of two countries in the larger global polity and especially Indo-Pacific. And second point which I wish to highlight is, see, relationship has to be balanced. And with France, we are able to balance and rebalance our relationship rather than undue dependence in terms of armament, erstwhile on Russia, or else currently on US, because the strategic autonomy is when you have choices. And when you have choices, that means that you are able to access the best choice that suits your interest. Therefore, developing deeper partnership with France gives us strategic autonomy and also lesser dependence upon countries like Russia and America. Uday.
I'm out of time, but Major General Katoch, I'll leave you a quick last word.
Thank you for that, Uday. Uday, as I had mentioned in my opening remarks, I think the strategic relationship between India and France is going to increase at an exponential pace. For the simple reason that our interests, for whatever reasons, coalesce on practically every issue. Now, this is not the case with our relations with Russia, where we have different interests. They coalesce on some points and they diverge on others, and similar with the United States. But with France, I don't see any divergence at all. So I think this visit of President Macron, he's already in Jaipur, and he'll be attending the Republic Day parade as a chief guest tomorrow, is a pointer in the right direction. And I hope and pray that the defense indigenization which India hopes to do and achieve gets the necessary fill-up by this visit.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.